Hey everyone, it's a Four Gun Guy, and I'm really excited today about reviewing an optic that DNT Optics sent me. It's the One rifle scope, and this is a 7 to 35 by 56 first focal plane rifle scope, primarily for PRS, so rimfire and or center fire. So what I thought we would do today is let's go through the specifications. Let's get some views downrange, look at this glass, and then we'll come back for some final thoughts. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. Well, I had looked through this scope at a competition before, and I was very surprised by what I saw when I looked through it. And so when DNT reached out to me and said, hey, we like your videos, your formats, would you like to review our scope? I said, heck yeah, let's get it done. So they sent this to me. I did not buy this, and I like their program. Their program is, we're gonna send you the scope, but then you're gonna send it back to us. So it's not like I'm getting this for free, so you kind of have to say nice things about it. I like that about how they do their program. If I want the scope, then they'll offer me some type of a discount, which is great. So I like the way they handle that. So look, let's start with what comes in the box. I'll put this up here. You've got the scope, of course. You got the bikini scope lens cover. A sunshade is included, the battery, the user manual, a cleaning cloth, and then they also include the tool. There's a tool here for the battery compartment that they include. So, you know, I like that they include the sunshade. I like that they include the bikini scope caps, because that's all I use. And actually, and people freak out when I say this, when I get to the match, my covers are off all match long. I may clean the glass once every other stage, but I do not keep my covers on my scope. Now, if it's a hiking type of match, then I'll put the covers on and I'll hike with it. But once it's off, because I've seen so many guys get down on the rifle, scope caps are on, they flip them up, and that flipping costs 4 seconds. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know there's a lot of time involved in that. That can take time away from your final shot. So I don't do that. So back to the fact that I like the bikini covers. So that's great. Well, look, let's start with the scope itself now. From a functional standpoint, it is 7 to 35 power, so you do have that extra magnification if you want it. It is a 56 millimeter lens. It is a heavy scope. This thing weighs 42 ounces. Now again, people will say, oh wow, that's really heavy. That's heavier than most other scopes. For PRS, I love it. It doesn't bother me at all, right? Because I want weight on my rifle. This rifle is my backup or practice rifle, and this one weighs probably 22 pounds, whereas my competition rifle weighs 23 pounds. So they're very close to each other. But again, we want heavy rifles in PRS. Even our 22s, when we're shooting 22 long rifle, we want a heavy rifle. My 22 is, I think, 21 pounds. So a heavy scope does not bother me at all. Now, let's get to the turrets, because they're very interesting, and I really like these turrets. So let me just grab this. Let me make sure I've got this thing in here. I was taking some measurements, so I had that out. Let's put that on there. Now, I'll put this up on the screen as well, but I really like the tactile nature of the turrets. So again, I rarely do this, but I'll do it here. I want you to listen to that, though. They're very tactile, and the thing I like about them is they're not tactile to just be, oh look, you can hear our clicks really well. They really stop at that mark. So I really like these turrets so far. The windage is the same, very tactile. They are not locking turrets. Again, I don't care. Most PRS shooters today are going to non-locking turrets, because they don't want to mess with them, and I don't mind at all. I do like the markings on the turrets, but I did look this up, and my IDTS dry fire tape manufacturer, they make the tape for this scope, so I'm just going to buy that tape anyway and put it on here. As far as the elevation goes, it is a 10-10 turret, so it's 10 mils, which is great. I like that as well. Windage turret, as I said, is the same, very tactile. Some people might say, "Oh, but the windage marking is not down here at the parallel with the scope tube position. It's up here and all that." Here's my thing, guys. Don't get hung up on stuff like that, because the reality of it is, if I'm on a stage and if I have dialed wind, in fact, I did a video about a month ago, I posted it, where I'm on a stage, I impact the first shot, I miss the second, I miss the third, and if you watch that video, I don't come off the scope. My hand just comes up here and I go click, click. And then I move on and I clean the rest of the stage. I didn't look at my windage. I don't need to look at my windage. I better be good enough and know enough that if I need to dial 2/10 more right, then I'm just going to go click, click, and I'm 2/10 right. If I need to go left, click, click, I'm dialing up, and I go 2/10 left. So with that being said, don't use that as your crutch, this mark here, right? Use it to set your initial wind. Or if you even hold wind, then this really doesn't matter. If we look at the parallax setting, this is like other scopes. It's got a great parallax setting. I've already looked through this, so I can tell you even before we get to the range, this has a really good 300 to 400 yard parallax range. So I have not had to adjust it in those ranges. So, which is really nice. So if I'm starting on a stage for centerfire, say, that we have to go to, we start at 500 and we go out to 900, it's like my other higher end scopes, more expensive scopes, I won't have to touch the parallax, and that's really good news. Illumination, it has in-between off settings, which I really like, and the illumination of this reticle is daylight bright. I mean, it's bright, and it's the entire reticle, which I really like. So it's not just that little centerpiece and then you're hunting around the rest of the way. So for dusk, dawn conditions, this is a really good illuminated reticle. And again, the parallax knob, very firm, but it will stay wherever you place it. The ocular the same way, right? As I turn the ocular, it's very firm, along with the magnification. I like that a lot. And they do provide a small, I don't know why it's not in the contents list, but they provide a small throw lever here. I like the small throw lever. Some of these other ones come way out here, and they're kind of in the way, especially if you're using a magnifier like I do for my elevation turret. So I like this. It's very smooth, and it will stay exactly where you want it to stay. So I think that's good for the overview. The glass is Japanese ED glass, and we'll see that when we get out to the range. But so far, I'm pretty darn impressed with the build of the scope and the way the scope looks. So look, let's do this. Let's get out to the range. I may throw in some backyard stuff that I did here just to kind of get an idea of the glass and the clarity for maybe 22 and up close stuff. And then we'll get out to the longer range and I don't know, we'll go out to whatever yardage we end up at. So let's do that, and then we'll get back for some final thoughts. I was looking at this earlier and I was like, you got to be kidding me how sharp this is. Now, you're going to have things in the way here. And then I'm going to stabilize this. And now I'm going to bring in the parallax. Now I'm going to kind of leave this alone. You cannot imagine the detail that I'm seeing on this telephone pole. Guys, this glass is blowing me away, and I'm not just saying that. This is unbelievable glass. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see what happens when we zoom in. This is, I'm going to zoom all the way in. This is 36. This is 36 power at this telephone pole. That's 200 yards away. And we're going to look further out when we get to the range. But can you see, and again, this is not going to do this justice. It's really a shame. But let me zoom, let me go out to 25. This is about 25 power. You can see the grain in the wood. I was looking at something earlier that had the bolts on it, and I could see the threads on the bolts. And these are probably 1/2-inch bolts on these poles. But a bolt was sticking out. I could see the threads on the bolt. So let's get out to the range and see what we can really see at distance. Okay, here we are, and we're going to do some long range shooting here in a second. But I'm at a range that has both 22 and long range, so I thought let's start with some 22 targets. Now I'm not going to shoot them because this is a center fire rifle, but I just thought, look, let's get down on the rifle. This is, I think that target is 100 yards, and I'm at probably about 10 power. No, that's about 15 power there. So for 22, I may even come out a little bit. These orange targets are the 22 targets, but you can see, for example, I believe those targets right there, I'm going to adjust the parallax. You know, those are out to, I think that's 200 yards right there. And if I do this, let me do this because I'm curious as to how this is going to look. Look at that. So there's the reticle, the illuminated reticle. I'm not going to do this on the long range stuff, but if I did, this is what it would look like. I like the fact that the whole reticle is illuminated. Well, let's come back here to these 22 targets. These are out to about 300, I think that is. And if I come in a little bit, man, I just love this tree reticle on this thing. It's a really clean reticle. It draws your eyes to the target. And yeah, I mean, I just wanted to pick out some of these 22 targets here just to kind of show you what this might look like on a rimfire rifle. And I'll probably say this again in the center fire, but guys, I can't believe how clear this glass is. It's unbelievably clear. So let's move on to some longer range stuff, and we'll see what this would look like if we used it for some center fire competition. Okay, here's what I'd like to do. Let's start at 400 yards. I'm going to hit the trigger cam here. We are recording. Let's come down here, and now I am at, boy, that looks good. Can you, I don't know if you can see that in the scope, but I can see the mirage beautifully. Let's shoot at this one. I just tried to zero this, so we'll see if it's, if we're zeroed. Let's see here. Impact. That's good. And I am at about 20 power. So this is about what I would shoot in a match right here. Let's zoom out a little bit at 400. That's all the way out. Guys, I'm telling you, this glass is so ridiculously clear. And now we'll zoom all the way in. And let me do this. I don't know if the trigger cam is going to pick this up or not. Let's send one more at 400. iBox is just fine at 400. Just fine. Let's see. There we go. I'm a little high, I think. I'm up there in the upper left corner. That's fine. So now, let's come out. Got a few more targets here. Let's go 500. So I'm going to go to 2.6. 2.6. Bring the rifle over here. We're going to go to 500. Settle the rifle in. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see what we've got here. I'm just going to look at the big one so we can see here, because I remember I was high, so let's see where we end up. Look at that. Now I'm about 2/10 high, no problem. But, you know, what I'm saying is I can see that impact perfectly. Now I'm at 25, which I would never be. I'd probably shoot right about here, which, as I said, is right at about 20 power. That's perfect for me. 20 power is exactly where I want to be. Let's see what this would look like if I was aiming at one of these things. I think I'll hit one. Let's see here. Let's do this center one. I got a little bit of wind. impact, a little high. And then finally, I'm not going to go out too far today. Let's go to 650. And I think 650 is right over here. If I'm not mistaken. And I'm probably going to be missing these. I think that head is at 650. Again, this is what we'd look like in a match center fire. Let's see here. I'll probably miss it, but let's see. Yeah, low. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't adjust my dope, did I? So there's 4-1. Problem. Let's try one more. It's only ammo, right? It's only ammo. Let's do this right here and see what happens. Yeah. Let's go to that big plate. The big plate is 600. So I'll come down to 3.6 or so. I think I'm at 3.6. Let's look at the big plate. Big plate. Impact. Yeah, about 2/10 high. So look. This is unbelievable glass in this thing. I'm going to zoom all the way in again just so you can see. Now what I want to do is I want to go to 20. So let's come out to 20 power, which is what we would be shooting in a match. Okay. I am at 650. My parallax is great. I want to come down to 500. So let's say that we've got some targets at 500. Parallax is still very good. Let's say we've got some targets at our 400-yard range. Parallax is still very good. And let's come even down to, say, 200 yards here, which is, where are you? Rascal? That's 200 yards. And my parallax at 20 is still pretty good. We would never go to 200 yards. We'll go to 300. And look at that. My parallax is still good there. So, with all that said, let's get back to the shop for some final thoughts. Well, I want to thank DNT Optics for sending me the 7-35 by 56 first focal plane scope. Let's go through some of the features and let's kind of grade them. Glass, Japanese ED glass, I think we saw in the video, and again, the scope, the trigger cam doesn't do justice at all, but this glass is very, very good glass. As we saw, like those telephone poles, when I can see the wood grain in the telephone pole at 200 yards away, that's pretty darn good. I will put this glass up against some other scopes that are 3, 4, I'm going to say 5 times the cost or the price of this scope. I am. So glass good. Build quality, very, very good. I think this will stand up to anything. I don't know if I mentioned the warranty before. Warranty is lifetime for these. It is transferable. And I reached out to DNT and I said, okay, look, it doesn't say anywhere in there that if I'm at a match and this thing's leaning up against a tree and it drops, is that going to be covered? If I pick this up and something's wonky with it. They did send me an email back. They said, yes, we talked to our warranty department. It will be covered. So it is covered there. I hope they update their warranty to include that. Now, naturally, if you're going to take this on the rifle and do a YouTube video where you're bashing it up against a tree, don't expect to send it back in there and then fix it, right? It's not that type of a warranty. So I think that's really good. Turrets, these are some of the best turrets I've seen in a long time, guys. I'm not joking. And it's not because they sent this. Remember, I don't keep this scope. They're not giving this to me. They sent it to me to review and I'm sending it back to them, right? So I don't have to sit here and go, well, gee, they gave this to me. I better say some good things about it. I told them right off the bat, like I tell everyone else, I'm going to review your product, but it's going to be an honest review. So when I say these turrets are awesome, these turrets are pretty darn awesome. They're very tactile. I love it that I can actually hear the clicks loudly. So if I'm there at a stage like the one that I did where I dialed after I missed twice, and I didn't even look at the turret, dialed 2 clicks, I'm there, right? I want that tactileness of it. So turrets are excellent. Re-zeroing and zero stop set, I think, are very good on this scope. I'd like to see something more like a Gen 3 type of, where you've got the tool at the top and you just do that. that's fine. You still have to loosen a set screw on the Gen 3 turret. Remember that. Everyone keeps saying they're so easy to, you still have to do some stuff on there. And this one, there's just a couple more set screws and it's all done. Same thing with the windage turret. Remember I said don't get hung up on the windage 0 indicator being further up here on that turret. Don't worry about that because you need to get used to your clicks in your mind, not looking at a turret. Magnification lever, very smooth. As I said before, ocular, same thing. I love the parallax. Again, I don't know that I mentioned it before, but the parallax does have numbering, which I never use anyway, so I don't care if a parallax has numbering or not. Doesn't bother me. This one does, some major numbering. And then the illuminated reticle, remember I said I love that it is fully illuminated. So I do like that feature of it. What am I missing out here? Rezeroing, I think I hit everything there. Oh, the reticle. The reticle, I would say, is a very good to excellent reticle. I'd like to see the 1/2 mil mark on the windage, but that's not a big deal to me. Again, I said it graduates in 2/10 increments. Subtensions there, so I can easily see where the 1/2 mil is between the 2 or the 4 and the 6. So if I can do that, I'm fine with that. And again, the turret numbering here, I like that it's large. It is large, so if I wasn't using a magnifier and I wasn't using the IDTS tape, this would be a very good turret. It's very well numbered. So guys, there you have it. This is a really good scope. I'm not even going to say for the money because I'm getting tired of saying that on scopes like this because I take these out of the box, I put them on a rifle and I go, holy crap, this is as good as my insert scope that's 3, 4, and 5 times as much as this name here. And I think a lot of that is because companies like DNT are getting access or have access to glass manufacturing processes in countries like Japan that are manufacturing for those other optics companies. And for those optics, you're paying for a name, right? And I think a lot of companies like DNT have caught up. I'm not even going to say catching up. They have caught up to those companies as far as the build quality goes, at least the initial build quality, the operation of the scope or the optic, and especially the glass quality. They've caught up to them. So I think, number one, if you're just beginning, I think this is an excellent choice for you for either 22 long rifle or center fire. I think the DNT, the 1, is a good scope to start with. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks again, DNT. I really appreciate it. And until next time, shoot straight.